Hi, my name's Jacqueline Williams. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I currently train in West Lafayette, Indiana at Purdue University. My personal best is 440 in meters, and that translates to 14.5 and 1/4.
Jacqueline, we are so excited to have you on today. Thank you so much for your willingness to share your story and for just wanting to share a little bit about yourself. Where did you get started? How did the pole vault start for you?
Yeah, well, before I answer that question, I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me to share my story.
Awesome.
But for me, I started in high school my sophomore year. It was just a lone vaulter in the distance, and I was like, hey, what is she doing? And I, as a curious person as I was, I went over there and I said, can I try? And I was pretty much hooked ever since. And at that time, we didn't have a coach or poles, but it didn't matter because all at that time I was straight pulling, and I just needed that one pole, and it kind of blossomed to where I'm here today at Reno at the Pole Vault Summit.
So you were straight pulling for a really long time.
For about a year, because we didn't have poles. And then once you start to straight pull, you can move your grip up, and then all of a sudden the pole started to flex a little bit. And then we got a coach, and the kind of transition to there, and then I just started to, I broke the school record right away, and I was like a 10-foot vaulter in high school, my first couple meets in. But then because of the lack of poles and the lack of knowledge, I kind of stayed at 10 feet, and it was 10.5, 10.7, and 10.8. So when I graduated high school, I was a 10.9 vaulter. It was my personal best.
Why is it important to be a progressive thinker in the sport?
Because that's the event. Every day, you don't just show up and jump. You read your body, you read your poles, you sit there and you're like, okay, the pole blew through, my step's here, I'm here. It's everything is a progression. But not only that, we want to keep jumping higher, and we want to reach that next level. And so that's the whole event in the whole. And you kind of have to keep having that open-mindedness, because it's not a bad thing if your step was under. You progress forward, you make that adjustment, and you go, okay, good. I'm under because I feel good today, and I'm running fast, and I'm running well.
You learn from yourself every time.
Every time, even if it was a bad jump, even if you blew through and you might view it as bad. Oh no, you look at that video and you're like, wow, my hands were moving extremely well today. That's something I can add to my toolbox.
So our sponsored question for today is from the United States Pole Vault Association. And Jacqueline, the question for you is, how many years did it take you before the vault started to click?
I feel like that still needs to happen, but honestly, probably 4 years. 4 years until it really started to click. But then for that level, when it started to be above in kind of the collegiate setting, and then it didn't really start to click until I was 1, 2, 3. My 7th year was the biggest year I made, a huge jump from being a 13-foot vaulter to about a 14-plus vaulter like that. And that's when I started to really figure it out. I was like, wow, this is, I'm still figuring it out every day, and I'm very intrigued to what else can I learn and what else can I figure out.
Jacqueline, I just can't thank you enough for your time, for your experience, and just your journey. Thank you for sharing with us, and I'm sure everyone's really grateful for the advice that you gave today.